See how this one's going to go. The rematch of winners quarters with Jackal and Webb here. Winner will be going on to fight Syrup in the grand finals, but we got to get there first. WebbJP, Jackal going back on Pokemon Stadium 2. I'm going to expect that we see us on Pokemon Stadium 2 this entire time. And from what we saw in winners, it was Webb who was coming out of the gate swinging first, and it'll continue to be the same here in losers.
Yeah, instant 40% and an edge guard scenario. The Wolf Flash getting cooked by those needles, but Webb instantly going to the ground, runs straight into the laser. But either way, you're holding center here and you're pushing Jackal steadily into the corner. Even reading the up smashes out of shield that were so good for Jackal in that first set. Webb is fully adapted and ready just to play the patient game when they're both locked in a shield stun.
Yeah, honestly, just the timing on the parry there from Webb is just goes to show how practiced he is, right? But now Jackal trying to fight back as much as possible here, as now Webb trying to maneuver here too. It's once again a slower, more meticulous neutral, but air dodge is going to get caught. Not going to line up for the bouncing fish just yet, and I'd like to see it down tilt into the forward air, and now Webb once more just going for the ledge trump back air, not going to be able to find anything, but Grenade is also going to edge guard just a little bit here. Jackal going to be able to get the reversal right now, looking for the down smash punish, unable to find anything, and we're back into neutral.
That's such a shame. Webb made like 4 or 5 solid like coverage and read plays on that ledge to close out the stock, and Jackal took the hits and took the damage, but is alive and kicking here, which is just great discipline on the part of Jackal, knowing that she has to confirm into those strong hits, or else you're waiting until 170, 180, and maybe finding something like a dash attack as we see it come in to play there from the Webb, closing out that first stock, but Jackal made him work for it as he looks to try and establish that lead, establish some sense of offense of his own here in game number 1.
2 fast-paced characters playing a slower set, right? We're 2 minutes in and still Webb is still on this first stock. So now Jackal has to find a little bit more damage here. Looking for something here, but once more Webb just going to come out with the offensive option. It actually works well for him. Throwing out the grenade, forcing Jackal to actually back up just a little bit, allow for Jackal to get back on. Still double forward air into the dash attack, landing there from Jackal, allows for the reversal here, finds the back air, and now Jackal starting to cook up too.
There's another one of those offensive options in defensive scenarios. Webb is trying to play fast and trying to play button-heavy neutral across the multitude of Yomi levels that both of them are kind of trading back and forth. Always trying to make Jackal afraid of the frame data that Sheik offers. But Jackal solidly outspacing it there in that instance. Let's see if he can do it more like in that instance right there. The falling forward air so perfectly spaced and getting rewarded with a grab after the whiff up smash, turning into so much damage. Man, Wolf can pour it on once he finds that hit.
Had the right idea, right? And I'd love to see Jackal taking, you know, what we're saying into stride and actually pushing through with all of these combos now. Looking very even in this game number 1, stock number 2. There we go. Webb looking for the throw. We'll be able to find the landing nair once more, but how do we get this stock here? Jackal playing so patiently on the ledge, but still all of these trades are actually going to work out pretty well for Jackal too. Finds the nair once more. Needles are going to miss, but Jackal propped up above the ledge at least for the moment, but Webb is not giving up. Finding a lot of these nairs, finds the down tilt, the sweet spot. Back air, it's not going to be enough as Webb still just trying to find it, and Jackal once again playing the evade game.
We are playing so tenuous, like very, very much are they riding the razor's edge as the B reverse needles barely miss, as so does that falling nair. Either of these can set up into kills, potential opportunities, but the whiffed grab gets punished by a tipper down tilt, and that's a combo Webb will never miss.
Ooh, okay. If it's one thing that I gotta kind of knock Webb on, I don't like to knock players during sets, but I do have to call things out that I see, and that is going to be air dodging and like right above Jackal, right? Like we want to air dodge a little bit more defensively because we have seen Webb time and time again now. I believe that is the 3rd time that we've seen a air dodge get actually punished by a Jackal up smash. There it is.
And I mean, we're seeing Jackal though take advantage of exactly that notice immediately. Webb, oh, I got punished for air dodging. I should stop doing that in disadvantage, like just letting the neutral air dodge rip. It's like, oh, Jackal, you're not air dodging. Let me throw out a medium, immediately some up airs, and then call out the land on the platform. The Wolf Flash, so perfect, and he gets a water bottle to boot.
Congratulations, you got that game. You may have water now.
Hydrate, please.
Good game one for Jackal. Definitely not what we saw in winners from Jackal taking that game one. So we're seeing a little bit of a different perspective from Jackal, and that's working out for him really well so far. So see how this one is going to go in game number 2 here. I'm expecting the same stage, the same matchup all the way through. See how this one's going to go.
In a heavy neutral matchup like this, where both players are probably like mixing each other up and like keeping so much information in their heads all at once, you want as few variables as possible. And one of those is going to be stage. They want room to work with. They want consistent platforms to make sure that they can extend and find their guaranteed damage. And they do not want anything to change up any of the information that they currently have stored unless it is the opponent. Because at that point, it just becomes more information.
Jackal now being the aggressor here, coming out of the gate swinging, still looking pretty even. Webb, though, going to be able to find the drag down into the down smash here, looking for the pickup, but once more, we'll find the F tilt into Nair, and now Jackal recognizing, you know what, you're waiting for me to jump in. Let me bounce back. Let me just throw out a weird hitbox, and speaking of weird hitboxes, we're going to do just that.
He wanted a fastball air dodge into the corner as opposed to into the platform. It's those little gambles go a long way, like with that attempted down air. Maybe you find some it's hard to commentate. It's so many little reads. It's so many little opportunities that both players are trying to capitalize on, but they're both so good that they're not giving it to each other for free. Instead, the roll-on gets caught from Webb, holding steady. The burst grenade, not finding it, but the tipper down tilt sets up for the updraft, and it is Webb capitalizing on the first mistake from Jackal and taking the stock to boot.
How does he do it every single time? The clean reset into the stock on edge guard every single time coming out from Webb. It's truly just marvelous, if you will. But now look at that. First up smash that was like properly punished twice here, and you know Jackal was looking for it, but Webb now actually positioning himself pretty well, finds the bouncing fish, and now Jackal in a boatload of trouble. The weak hit is actually going to do it. Didn't even need to be the strong one here. Webb up 3 stocks to 1 with a little bit of rage too, which will definitely help him out in the extra credit if Jackal will let him get it.
Yeah, Webb doing so much putting so much fear into Jackal of these deep edge guards, but him just ending up resetting back to the ledge for a ledge trap, finally actually paying off on that fear and on that linger off stage. Like, hey, I know Wolf is at his weakest when he's deep off stage like that at the startup of most of his recovery options. Well, I'm actually going to make sure you remember to be afraid. I'm afraid.
I cannot believe Webb just did all that.
Look at the shake of the head and the smile on his face. He's feeling it.
I can never. What is that? What is Webb feeling right now? Look at Webb right now in the player cam and tell me what he feels.
It was after the game. It was a momentary satisfaction of like,
nice,
yeah,
I did that.
I'm nice, and you gotta hold that. You just got 3 stock. But after like that little shake of the head, that little like adjustment of his posture, it's right back into the groove. Like he cannot afford to overinflate his head, because you know as soon as Jackal gets any sort of beat on any of these habits, he's going to take it for a mile.
This is the first time that we're also seeing Webb actually come out as the aggressor in 2 games too, because Jackal was the first one to come out of the gate swinging here, but here comes Webb, finds the track down, and all of these combos once more, they're not leading into stock loss, not necessarily until the edge guard, but they're so satisfying to watch. It goes to show true neutral here. Jackal, though, fighting out of the corner with the forward air this time, though, but Webb once more reading so well here, going for the needles, unable to find anything, and now we're both just trying to land our nairs.
I mean, when you find a landing nair, or in the case of Wolf, also that sweet spot back air, I mean, that's amore. Like, you love to see it.
I like that, Henry.
It goes out the stock right there for Jackal, and he's feeling the love as we go into stock number 2. But it is Webb finding that first grab in order to set up into this left side ledge. Specifically, the left side ledge has been so good to Webb.
Yeah, specifically the left. Are you lefty or righty, Henry?
I am right-handed.
I'm lefty, actually.
Really?
So, yes, I know 10% of the people in the world. Still, though, it's Jackal holding on really well now to the stock, but here comes Webb. Instead of going for the up air, we're actually going for the back air there. Looking for it once more. Jackal going to recover well. Gets hit by the 1-2, though. Has to use the Wolf recovery. But can we flip it around? Pure vanish. You got it.
I see Webb go for that all the time, and I think it's just an overload of the mental stack. Like, you are worried so much about what Webb can do out of the corner. Jump bouncing fish, jump from ledge, and any sort of ledge drop options, fair for the reversals, on top of all the other normal ledge options, and then he just hits you with this vanish that you think you can swing at because you're waiting to try and pull the trigger, and you're just not reacting to exactly vanish as he gets away with another one in order to take that stock and then just instantaneously bring us almost to even with that 70% combo. But it's Jackal with the forward tilt in the right side ledge in order to make sure that he can keep this lead in his corner.
If we had collision stats, it would be how many stocks has Webb taken from the left and how many stocks have Jackal taken from the right here. Still, though, trying to... We'll find out. Still, though, there's the forward air coming up from Jackal. Wants to hold this lead as much as possible here. But Webb's so scary on the ledge. Good spot dodge, looking for something. And then here it is, the sweet spot down air. Not going to lead into the up air because Jackal knows exactly what that's capable of. So instead, we're going to kind of revert into a more defensive play style. Throw out the laser, wait for the forward air. But the trade still going to work out in Jackal's favor and just dash attacks right through the grenade because why not?
The forward momentum of that Wolf's insane initial dash and that dash attack barely getting him out of that win box because that would have been dangerous. Instead, it is Jackal just finding these lasers on the part of Webb, always short hopping in his attempts to get back in. Instead, Webb runs up blocks and stays grounded as a means to punish some of the grounded playstyle on the part of Jackal. Very, very seldomly has been in that second stock was he throwing out a ton of full hops. Now we see the jumps come out, try and throw off Webb's timing while he's at an extreme percent and basically can't get hit by anything.
Speaking of percents, we could be in Tri-State Twister percent too with the turnaround back throw, but it will just be the up air, catching Webb jump again, not with the up smash this time, but actually catching him with the up air. It's going to be Jackal going up 2-1 in the set so far. Definitely has the advantage now going into the potential game 5. But I will say we have not seen Jackal syrup this tournament yet. We've only seen Webb syrup.
I would be interested to see that because Jackal has been prepping a solid secondary for certain matchups.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which has been the Sonic, going back to his roots. But, we'll have to see how it goes depending on who will win this set. Jackal looking extremely solid as we go. I mean, we're going almost 15 seconds in and nobody's landed a hit.
All right, still
there
though.
It is.
There it is.
3.5%.
I like how both of them hit a forward air and then they both went back into neutral and then ran up to each other and shielded. Love Smash Brothers. Still, though, it is going to be Webb coming out of the gate swinging. It's always so important to see who gets that first percent because you always want to see who gets the first convert into stock 2 off of it. Still, though, finds Jackal a opportunity here as they are still both even percentages right now. Webb going to reset, at least for the moment. Jackal finding the landing nair, but still, it's all about Jackal right now as he is able to hit the forward air, back air. The good old El Clasico Jackal. About time, man. We haven't seen that all day.
Not against Webb, for sure. As that grabbing on the platform to the runoff fair was so nice. Jackal is playing pristine right now, as I want to call it the landing fair that he got the first stock with. So spaced so perfectly, so low to the ground, that he hit a crouching Sheik with it. Just so perfectly spaced and so well played on the part of Jackal here in this game 4, who does not want to let Webb start cooking at all.
No, definitely not. I need a little bit of rage here, but there's the back air, the grenade, not going to be enough. Good air dodge onto the stage. I like that, right? Throwing out a more defensive option, but now, honestly, Jackal playing very close to Webb instead of just resetting neutral, which I would have loved to see just a little bit more, but I understand why, right? Still, weak hit back air, not going to be enough. Going to use the Wolf Flash to establish himself back onto stage. Another back air coming out from Webb. There's the grenade, and it is going to fall off enough for Jackal to get caught by it.
He does drop the stock there, but I love what he went for with the falling down air instead in that instance. At this point, with how many games these two have played with throughout this bracket and throughout many brackets across the past few months, at this point, it's all about timing mix-ups between these two. Like, they know every trick in each other's arsenal. You just got to know how to crack open the can on the Wolf or on the Sheik. So, and the same thing goes for Webb, able to mix up and play really, really up-tempo in this stock in order to net 85% and bring himself right back into this game.
Jackal getting caught up by the second one of the rapid jabs there. Definitely not looking too good. So now we're back into neutral here, and now we're honestly back to even. That stock one going well on over to Jackal, and now Webb has actually fought back extremely well with one of his signature conversions. And speaking of signature conversions, it will be needles into bouncing fish as Webb has taken back game number 4.
He's one of the best Sheiks at utilizing needles and does it with a high amount of regularity. I know Needles Bouncing Fish isn't the craziest confirms, but the amount of times that Webb is just looking to prioritize Needles in order to get his maximum punishment at any proper opportunity, for the up smash out of shield, taking that stock.
Yeah, looking real good now if you are Jackal. A little bit of rage to work with here, but we got to see that signature string. Still, though, finds the forward air, finds the second one. Webb trying to find a nair, but here comes Jackal. Double dash attack into the forward air. Now we get to line up for an edge guard potentially here. Dash out, dash in, doing a little bit of a fake out here. Webb playing a little bit more slower on the ledge this time, but it's actually going to work out for him. Finds the forward air, but now Webb looking to try and take back this lead percentage here. Finds the back air. Can he get it? I like the high recovery from Jackal, but it's actually going to be caught out by Webb. Landing nair here as now Webb throwing out the grenade to actually ensure safety. But what do you do here? No tech from Jackal. Oh my goodness!
He missed the timing so close after seeing the tech roll. Instead of the missed tech stand up, he did the roll into the same side, making it making it just take a fraction longer that Webb needed to hold that up smash. And thus, that little bit of a timing mix-up turns into a bountiful opportunity here for Jackal, who holds center, holding that corner scenario, and just walking forward with that forward tilt. And it capitalized on something that Webb got comfortable in late in that game number 4, which was just waiting on ledge a hair longer. That timing mix-up, but instead of playing faster, playing more delayed instead of going for like the immediate ledge drop forward air. And Jackal, in the moment of all moments, when he knows it was going to take a stock, he just spaced it and threw out that forward tilt instead of trying to read an option like he had been throughout the entirety of that game 4 instead.
Yeah.
So
really good stuff from Jackal, man.
Good. Oh my God.
But of course,
these are great.
Remember when I was just like, oh yeah, it's top 3, but the order is dependent. So that will be the 3rd seed making an upset over the 2nd seed here. And I'm going to get what I want to see here. You were talking about a little bit earlier. Jackal has been working on some secondaries versus the Steve here. We're going to assume that Syrup is going to be going Steve. We saw the Ness a little bit earlier versus Sola. And it was performing well, but it was a very, very dominant winners finals versus Webb. So we'll probably be seeing it now. I know just from, my little birds in Philly telling me last night, there was a little bit of a Jackal PT going on lately.
Yes, he started practicing it at LMBM while the J-Eazy concert was going on. Which, that was actually... That's on brand.
I do just have to say, I was very worried about the state of the Smashers at the J-Eazy concert. But I have to say, surprisingly, it wasn't cringe. It wasn't too cringe. I was very proud of us. There is 100 ways that Smashers made that absolutely horrible. And honestly, it was a really enjoyable experience. I watched it from the balcony, and to watch everybody actually stand up, it was a really great time. So shout out to J-Eazy. That's our Mega Man now. That's the GOAT.
The Mega Man.
Why do all the cool people play Mega Man?
I don't know, man.
Pete plays Mega Man from Anamanaguchi. That football guy that I'm forgetting his name also plays Mega Man. J-Eazy plays...
Le'Veon Bell,
Yeah. Why do all the celebrities play Mega Man?
He's cool. Capcom's
Josh Hutchinson does play Kirby, though. Okay, so the Kirby mains do have one.
Everybody gets one.
PETA from the Hunger Games likes the Kirby. Everyone knows him at Five Nights at Freddy's, man. That's the guy from Hunger Games.
Guy from Beekeeper. What's your main in Smash?
The guy from the Beekeeper.
I don't know his name.
Yo, imagine they brought out the Beekeeper guy at the J-Eazy concert. And Luminosity makes big moves. Boom. Huge.